Alright guys, how you doing? This is like my 5th time recording this video, and for some reason it's not saving. So I've already recorded this before and written all of this, so I'm not going to be writing anything. I'm just going to be trying to point out things to you. Alright, so the first question I have here is, what is the quadratic function that matched this graph? Alright, so I want to point out, so I lied, I am going to write. I'm going to point out that this right here would have been the parent function, which is f of x equals x squared. Alright, because it is a parabola, you should see that it's going to be quadratic. So f of x equals x squared is the parent function. And then this blue one right here would be the child function, which we would say g of x. Okay, so remember that when you have a parent and a child, we talked about this in class, that when it's translating is going to be shifting either up, down, left or right. In this case, this is a vertical translation, all right, because it is going up. And since it is going up, that means it will be positive. So when you have a parent and a child, they have something in common, and then they don't. So they have x squared in common. But the thing that they do not have in common is the shift. So if we start down here with the parent has a child, and what took place from the parent having a child? They went up 1, 2, 3 places. So that would be a +3. So what took place if the shift happened and the parent went from here to the -3? So what if I did this where the highlighted is going? Alright, and let's call this one h of x. Remember, the parent has something in common with the child, which would be the x squared. Okay, but what happened here? It went down 1, 2, 3, and because it went down, that would be a -3. Alright, so the next question I have down here would be, what are the what are the zeros of the quadratic function shown on the graph? So I've already written it out, but you'll get a graph on your quiz and it'll have a parabola or what have you, and your job is to figure out where are the zeros on this graph. So if you look here, I have 2 points where it crosses over the x-axis, but it does not cross the y-axis, meaning it does not go up or down. So those points is -2, 0, because this is x, that's y, and then 1, 0, that's x. So the points here both go over the x-axis at these points, but it does not go over the y-axis. So that means x will be equal to -2 and x will be equal to 1. Alright, so in the previous video that I uploaded called Zero Product Property, it went over a few problems with you, so I'm not going to go over those. However, I am going to look at the vertex form. And what I want you to look at here, again, I've recorded this video already, so I'm just going to talk through it. The vertex form is y equals a times x, and then this is a -h. So I'm going to write that again because I circled it and I want you to be able to see what I'm saying. So it is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Alright, so where h and k is the vertex, so h and k, those are the vertexes. Alright, that's where the vertex would go. So if I were to give you y equal 2 times x minus 1 squared plus 5, the first thing I would want you to do is label each number. So this is in the position of A, this is in the position of H, and that is in the position of k. So if I'm looking for h comma k, I know that human nature, you would want to say, well, that's a -1, right? But I want you to be clear that in the form, okay, the form has a negative. So what if I were to tell you that 1 was positive and you already have a negative there? So that would be a negative times a positive, which gives me negative, which is why I still have a -1 here. So whenever you're writing the vertex, just look at the number, okay? Look at the actual number without the sign. Write the number, and then when you look at the sign, you're going to do the opposite of what it is. So because this is a -1, I'm going to translate it as saying it is a +1. And we don't have that issue with this problem with k, because that's a plus k, and this is also a plus k. So we're just going to put 5. So let's look at another one. So we had y equal 3 times x plus 4 squared plus 7. So again, I'm going to say 3 is in the position of a, 4 is h, and 7 is k. And I'm looking for h comma k, right? So again, I told you that we are going to write the number here. And now we're going to say, what is the opposite of the +4? It was a -4. So we're going to say that our h is -4. All right, and last one. All right, so this one is a little tricky because look here. That's a -8, right? In the formula, it says it's a +8, okay? This is A, this is H, this is K. The opposite only applies when we are writing the H, okay? All right, so this was a 5, so it's going to be a -5. And then this one would remain a -8. All right, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. This was just short and sweet. I hope it was not confusing. If it was confusing, please let me know. Again, you can use these videos on your quiz tomorrow. If you want a video chat, text me, email me, write in Google Classroom, whichever is best for you is completely fine. I just want to make sure that I'm setting you up for success, so please. And if you prefer more videos with answers, like, you know, how to work out a problem, let me know. I'm your girl.